All right. Hello. Welcome in on today. All right. So this is our second session of So You Want Your Boaz? The real and the raw. What Ruth didn't tell you. And I'm not saying that there's something, that you need to be afraid of, but I'm just want you to be up on what you're walking into. You know, I want you to want your boys. I want you to acknowledge and allow God to send him your way. But I also want you to um, be aware of what you're walking into. Try to prepare you for when it's not all dreamy, you know? And so that's what God just led me to do this series because I think a lot of women, women of God, and women, we want someone to come in. We want someone to step up. We want someone to step in and take care of us and do what needs to be done and help us in those areas that we feel like we need help in. And so God led me being married 42 years. Um, and I just have not just been married, I've been married in ministry 42 years. So everyone would say that my husband was my Boaz because when he met me working. I was doing praise and worship. I wasn't, you know, and when Boaz met Ruth, she was working. She was in the field. She was doing where God had positioned her. And so I always, last week we talked about position. Your position. Where are you for Boaz to find you? And so we really talked about how when she went to the field, she did not go to the field looking for him. You understand? She did not go. She went to gather and glean so that she can take care of her responsibility that she had took on of her mother-in-law. Okay. And she went working, not looking for Boaz, not looking at what he had, because she didn't know who he was. She had no idea. But it's how God positioned her and where her focus was. And sometimes when we say we be glad when our Boaz come, it's almost like we're looking for them. And God don't need you to do that. It's you just have to allow him to position you in the right place. And I think what God is going to do is position you where you are being a help to the kingdom, where you are doing what he says do. Now, we're going to talk about tonight, now that he sees you, now that when he saw Ruth. And the only thing I can do is talk about my life, and I can't talk about nobody else. I can talk about my life. And so just just from that, I can talk about how God has helped me to still stand after 42 years and still do kingdom. We started doing ministry 42 years. We're still in ministry. We grew in ministry. Sure. Was there struggles? Yes. And I'm almost sure Ruth and Boaz had some struggles. I'm almost sure they don't talk about it after he purchased her, after he go through all the formalities that he had to go through to get her. She had the child and it quiet in there. But as you know, life goes on and things happen. Only thing I can tell you is from my stance of standing still and seeing God and knowing, okay, it was more than about him finding me. It was more about Boaz finding her. It was what God ordained for her life. And so that's when I say, so you want your Boaz, the real and the raw. What Ruth didn't tell you, which you did not read after the story ended with them with the child. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on today. So I want you to take out some time and share this with someone. Come on, share. All right. So again, let's talk about how I knew when I knew, well, when I did not know how God was positioning me for my husband, for him to find me. Ruth did not know that God was positioning her there, but he did. Once she got in position, and then Boaz noticed her. She wasn't looking for him. I have to keep saying that. It's because I think sometimes we get in this thing where we gonna see Boaz before Boaz see us. We do. We get to sit down when we say, "I'll be glad when my Boaz find me." But all in the back of your mind, you're looking while God is put God and God is trying to position you to do ministry. I mean, He's trying to position you to do work. He's trying to position you for the kingdom. You understand? I hope y'all get what I'm saying. It's because a lot of times when people come to men, you know, they don't. I'm trying to say, do you really understand the position that God is about to position you in? The journey, and it's about God's glory, and it's not about you. Now, yes, we reap the benefits of what God do, but you better believe every day will not be sunshine, and it's going to teach you to stand. Come on. And God says two is always better than one. So there's a reason for the positioning. There's a reason. There was a reason for Boaz to come into Ruth's life. And if you read on, you'll see why. Because she had to bear the child in order for the legacy to move down the line to Jesse and David. Okay. And so it says Boaz first seen Ruth in his barley field in Bethlehem, especially when he visited his harvest at the beginning of the harvest season to check on the progress of work. He wasn't going and looking for her. He was not going there to say, "Oh, let me find me a wife. Let me find me a woman to take care of. Let me find." No, it wasn't that. That was not what he was looking to do. He went to check on to see who was working and how they was working, and was the work getting done. You understand? And so sometimes God will look and see if you're in the position. Are you working? Are you doing it the way I want you to do it? Are you moving according to my will? Then He's positioning you, because if that's your heart's desire, come on, He's positioning you for that desire to come to pass. Yeah, He said He'll give you the desires of your heart. And as you all know, I told y'all at 14 when the pastor asked the church who wanted a husband, my hand went up at 14. I didn't know what I was asking for. I had no idea. None. But I don't know. And so he says, the initial meeting with Ruth, after greeting his workers, Boaz noticed a foreign woman gleaming behind them and asked his foreman about her identity. Come on. It wasn't her hips, her lips, or her thighs. It wasn't none of that. He wanted to know, who is this woman? Where she come from? Who her people? He was checking about her background. Even in that, Ruth had no idea that this man was checking her out. She didn't do no kind of moves for him to notice her even that much more. She did none of that. She kept gleaming from the field. She kept trying to get what she can get to take care of her responsibility. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And so sometimes once it's better that you don't notice. It's better that you're not looking. It's because you know what we'll do? We have a tendency of just doing something differently about ourselves. We'll begin to change our looks, to change, we'll begin to, instead of just staying in aligned with who we really are. Because either Boaz was going to accept her how she was and move forward, or he wasn't. But God had that all in plan. So at first she wasn't aware of him looking for her. She wasn't aware of him searching for her. She wasn't aware of all of that. She wasn't. Okay, upon learning she is Ruth, the Moabite who returned with Naomi, he showed her favor, offering her protection, water, and lunch. He didn't offer none of that. Only thing he offered her was protection, water, and he fed her to make sure she was good. I don't think he was after her saying, "Ooh, this gonna be my wife. Ooh, yeah, look at her. Look how she look. How fine she is." No. After he learned who she was and what she was doing, after he saw her work in the Lord, and that she loved her mother-in-law, and that she committed to take, after he learned her heart. Then it says the second meeting, Ruth 3, a more pivotal, intimate meeting occurred later in the story with Ruth. Following Naomi's advice, visits Moab at night at the threshing floor to ask him to act as their family redeemer. Now, I don't know. I think after Naomi realized who she had ran into, you understand? Come on. Naomi knew, okay, God, I thank you. Now help me to position this woman of God in the place where he could just be our family redeemer. So he could just be there so that we can recoup for everything that we lost. So Naomi had an agenda. I got to tell y'all about, I believe my mother had an agenda. She had an agenda. I'm going to tell you what my mother said to me. My mother said, I don't care if he go to your church. My mother was in a revival. And y'all about to hear about my mother. My mother was in a revival, right? And at the time, I was just, we just going to church together and all that. I wasn't trying to get, My mother said, I heard you was talking to this young man at your church. And, he was giving you rides home from church. I said, yeah. She said, well, I don't care who he is. He got to come ask for you. I'm like, ask for me? Y'all. I promise you I didn't have no idea. I had no idea she was going to go like that because I wasn't even thinking like that. She said, he got to come ask for you. And she said, other than that, you need to just cut that. I'm like, oh, Lord. So I went to church that Sunday night. And I told him, I said, my mother said, if you want to talk to me, then you need to come ask for me. He said, ask for you? I said, yeah, well, it was nice knowing you because I knew at that point I was going to respect the woman of God. It wasn't just about my mama because I knew who my mama was. That Monday evening, there was a knock at the door, and that was my husband there with his pants, shirt, and a tie on. Yeah. And when I opened the door and I saw him, my eyes kind of stretched like, oh, okay, because I thought it was over at that point. He said, and I said, Mom, you got company? She said, okay, Cheryl, you're going back there and do something. Let me talk to this young man. And she went in the living room. And this is what I could not hear what the conversation was. But she said, okay. Yeah, she talked to him. I'm in the back. Then she came in the kitchen. She said, go on up there and talk to your company. I sat there and we began to, that's when it was, we was talking and then when he left that evening, she said, come in here, sit down, let me talk to you. And the first words out of her mouth was, you gonna marry him. And I'm like, what? You don't even know him. How you say I'm gonna marry him? But it was something that was said to her to reassure her, whatever we go through, he was going to have my back. However it went down, he got me. However, whatever life we face in life, they're going to be all right. She knew. And I was upset at that point because I just felt like she just throwing me at the first person. She's not knowing the plan of God. Not knowing the plan of God. It says Boaz, immediately impressed by her character and reputation for loyalty to Naomi. So sometimes, now that he sees you, once he sees you, will your character be what it needs to be? Will your loyalty be toward God? Because God just ain't gonna just now we can step out of because we feel like God ain't moving fast enough. And we can step into it. Yeah. And we can say it's God. But we got to check that. I'm gonna tell you something. We went through the dating stage. Dated for 6 months. My husband asked me to marry him. 6 months planning a wedding. The night before the wedding, we did not have a limousine. But at this point, I'm still trying to figure him out. Did not have a limousine. And so what I did the night before the wedding, I said, in my room, I said, God, if you want me to marry him, I need a limousine. Did not have a limousine. Wasn't talking about a limousine. My sister done scheduled for her friend with the big SUV to come pick me up in my dress with my flowers and whatever and bring me to the church. That was the plan. It wasn't no limousine. Got up the day of our wedding. Still, no limousine. I went and checked on the receptionist hall with my fam sisters and in my spirit, I'm still saying, I don't care what, I'm gonna say no. If they say, do you take? If I have to be in a limousine, no. And God knew my heart. Wedding was at 4:00. 2:30, while I'm getting dressed, there was a phone call. And my mother said, Cheryl, come answer this phone. Jonathan, I said, why is he calling me? That was my response. And he said, hey, I just want to know what time you want the limousine to be there. And I screamed and dropped the phone. My mother looking at me like, what is going on? What is the problem? What are you doing? I'm like, what in the world? Because at this point, I'm walking around and they say, God, you're going to make me do this. God, you're going to make me. I'm like, God. Come on, when God has a plan. When God allow your Boaz to see you. I'm pretty sure when Naomi started talking to Ruth was probably giving her some eyes rolling up in her head like, what? You want me to do what? I just want to go get us something to eat. I'm not trying to do it. I'm just trying to make sure we good. Here you is. Your son ain't no longer passed away, and now you is trying to fish me off the side. I believe, but all of this was a part of the plan. So now that your Boaz see you. And so as I ran back to the phone and I said, my mother said, Cheryl, come get this phone and stop playing. I got back to the phone and I said, don't be playing with me. Don't be playing with me. You're playing games now. He said, no. The limousine driver is on the phone. And I say, what? We on three-way. I say, hello. He said, yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to see what time you want me to come by the house. He said, now I won't be in no tuxedo, but I'll be in a suit. But I'll be there. I dropped the phone again. I say, God, okay. I could just imagine what Naomi had to talk Ruth into to get her to go. Woo, for that meeting. But you know, it doesn't say how many times Naomi had done went to the field to glean, because what he told them was leave extra. When y'all go again, leave the extra for her to get. So it don't tell her how many times she did that before this encounter with her and Naomi came about. Come on. So now that he sees you, I'm almost sure she still didn't pay no attention. He probably spoke to her, gave her water, made sure she had food, made sure he let her know, I'm going to protect you, I got you. But I'm almost sure she just felt like he was just being nice. But then Naomi stepped in and began to bring things together. So now that he sees you, come on. Because you got to understand, God was building her up for something. God was building her up for the purpose. God had to build you up for the purpose of being with your Boaz. Not you. And there's some things we're going to encounter. But God got to see if you're going to be strong and willing enough to stand. If you're going to, because although I'm almost sure she fought the emotion of going through with this, she did it. When my mother told me I was going to marry him, and we went through all of that, and then I finally got to, I still was at that point where, okay, I'm going to say, no, woo. And I look at our life 42 years later, and I look at the journey, and there are people that was in with us that watched our journey from the beginning up into this point. And there were many that said we weren't going to make it. There were many that real still count us out. But I also saw what God did in me and how. So your Boaz ain't just about taking care of you and making you look good and feel good and lifting you up on a pedestal. So now that he sees you, remember, that's just the beginning. I just want to encourage you, women of God, young women of God, that when your Boaz comes and when he sees you, make sure you're in the right position. Make sure you're in the right mind frame. Make sure you're hearing the voice of God. And it's not going to come the way you think. And the only thing I can say is that it's going to put a stain in you. And it's going to put a sharpness in you. It ain't all about you being on a bed of cloud and being all taken care of and all of that. Yeah, that's the benefits of it. But it won't be that. So y'all, come on. We're going to talk about this every Thursday. I'm going to give y'all bits and pieces of it. The part Ruth didn't tell you. We're going to even talk about Esther. The part Esther didn't tell you. Those two women, when I read their story, because Esther was not trying to go be no bride for the king. She was just trying to take care of her uncle. We'll get to that. All right. I thank God for you joining me here on tonight. So, ladies, I want you to come back. Come back every Thursday. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. And let's talk about it. And you'll begin to see bits and pieces of my journey. Bits and pieces. And I mean, it may not matter to you. Bits and pieces of my journey. But one thing I can say It worked for my good. It's working for the kingdom. And if I had to do it again, I would. Because to see how God is processing us through, to see what God is doing. Yeah. Was it easy? No. Mm-mm. No, no, no. And I think sometimes we forget that we want everything to be easy. We want it to be all lovey dovey and all sunshine. No, not always that. So again, y'all join me again. This will be, join me next Thursday for part, the continuation of So You Won't Boaz, the real and the raw. What we didn't tell you. Let's talk about it. Woo! All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me on tonight. And we're going to continue. Y'all share this. Share this with some young women that's on this journey. Share this with some women of God that may be waiting for waiting, but how are you waiting? So that we can make sure when they find us, our character and our loyalty to God is in check. All right, ladies, y'all be blessed.